all right. We got the reincarnation of Rocky Johnson over here.
The reincarnation. That might be title number one. No, we can't do that.
Soul Man Banks.
Crazy. God bless his soul, but I kind of got a hairline like
Yeah,
that.
that's what I'm saying. Are you trying to cosplay as him now?
I might be. Then I'll be able to play the dad and young Rock that The Rock said he never really had and he wanted to walk with.
Even though he clearly had his dad help him in a match and this and all that. Yeah,
What they was doing, they had the American Dream baby type punches.
We're back. Sorry, I'm just the Sultan.
There you go, Sultan, accompanied by the great Iron Sheik. Ah, the Rocky Johnson.
But again, that's how crazy wrestling is. They made a Samoan play a Japanese man. They made a Samoan play a Middle Eastern man. And then they had a Samoan then evolve into like a white-ish, blackish guy when The Rock was becoming Hollywood Rock, when he was doing that twang a little bit more.
So what is he now?
In all honesty, he's Vin Diesel. He's more one race these days. But again, I saw that trailer to Moana too, so we know what energy he's about to be on.
Wait, that drop?
I didn't have the sound on, but a brief snippet played during the Olympics. So I'm like, why is this out already? Like,
so again, this is because they greenlit the show but canceled it. So instead, they just use all the footage for the movie.
Basically, it's a show that got turned into a movie.
That's actually pretty smart.
Their cost saving measures, but
he's still shooting the live action.
The live action one is actually going to be shot in a matter of months, I think, which is why when everyone's like, he's got to come back soon, I'm like, he's not coming back to face Cody Rhodes. He's not coming back for this. Again, I don't watch wrestling, I don't talk wrestling that much, but he's not coming back to do new Bloodline, old Bloodline. Come on. He hit The Rock in a War Games match. Do you want to see a dead? Do you want to see a dead body? I mean, he was already doing that during a spear match where they throw him in that cage. Like,
bro, we gotta see it. His big ass just walking around as much as he can, trying not to bust his quad in a match like that. Hilarious.
Like Tristan just said, but I think in Faster he's supposed to be like the adopted brother, but I think the mom's white and like I said, the brother's white because the brother is the guy who always plays like the Aryan dudes in movies and TV shows.
I'll legit do that. No lie. If y'all get us to 500 subs by September, I'll do that.
I guess I gotta do it with you.
Yeah, he gonna get wigs.
And then we do it like a cop poster back to like.
He gonna be Dexter Loomis.
That was. I'm like, wow, they really did that. I haven't been watching this, and I just saw a picture. I'm like, this looks like. Why did they bring back Kazarni? It didn't work the first time. Like,
I told y'all about Triple H. I feel like he just be throwing darts at the wall. Like, this is gonna work. Did
you know Kazarni was like Edge's friend, like Edge's longtime friend?
Yeah.
He had that one match on SmackDown, and it was.
It's what's the word? Nepotism. It's nepotism in pro wrestling.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Come on. We don't even have to say nepotism.
Is that actually real? I'm actually curious.
No, he just looks like him.
See, he from Duval. What part he from though, Ant?
That is crazy because he was a TNA original and a modern TNA original.
So, him and Limp Bizkit, they might be from the same area.
See, I've never done a deep dive on Limp Bizkit just because I don't want to know more about Limp Bizkit. Like,
you don't want to know about Fred Durst, the legend?
No, I'm still shocked. He was like, "I'm going to become a movie director now."
Oh yeah, he did a Keel and the Beat, right?
He did he did the football movie that Keke Palmer did with Ice Cube. You're confusing your Keke Palmer movies. He directed that, The Long Shots.
That's what I was thinking about. Not a Keel and the Beat, but
and he directed a movie with Jesse Eisenberg. He might have done one other thing. I can't recall what else.
Why didn't you? Oh yeah, that ain't your era. I'm about to say, why aren't you a Limp Bizkit fan?
No, it's just if I were like,
You
yeah,
dress like him.
that's why. Maybe that's why I'm not, because I've seen that style too much, and just this thing, like again, like even listening to um the wrestling songs, it's like I don't know if I really want to check these guys out, but it's like I'm a crack addict right now. Let's go. We lose control. Get. Like they made early 2000s, new metal music, which is like, as I always say, it was a great time for movie trailers. It was awesome, like that, like kick it, and then like some bass drops and like. But other than that, yeah, I never really cared about Limp Bizkit. And seeing him on stage now, he looks even crazier.
He's just old.
I
That's
just
it.
white guys age in that weird way where they want to have a completely different look than they've ever had before. Again, like look at Joe Rogan in the 90s and Joe Rogan now, you wouldn't believe it's the same person.
He just went bald.
No, but then he got jacked, he got full sleeve tattoos. It's
You know that's
it's
the white
that.
guy's like midlife crisis, right? The full
But I
sleeve
always,
tattoos.
well, I tell you, anytime a white guy gets tattoos who's never had them over 40, that's a clear sign of a crisis. If they've never had any, you can't blame a guy for having a cocaine accident and getting a new jaw. Tristan, I don't know what that's got to do.
What happened to him?
If I remember correctly, he slipped and like hit his hit his jaw on the kitchen, like on the kitchen counter, and it legit like fucked up his face, which is why he's starting to look normal again. But there was that period 2 years ago where it was like, whoa, people thought he had worked, and I'm like, no, do people forget like this guy actually like had an injury? Again, I can't remember if it was actually cocaine involved or not, but there was that time where he was partying, I think also with Michelle Rodriguez, crazy enough, and it was like, were they hooking up? Which is, huh? Like,
She dressed like you when she into what you like. I'll just say that she played defense, bro. She don't play
oh,
offense.
you,
She
which is
Draymond Green.
which is again the craziest thing about the Fast and the Furious franchise is where their love started and where their love is now, as we documented over the course of Fast Summer, where they're just a married couple that bicker and damn. But before it was like, she's kind of hot, but like she would knock a dude out. Now it's just like the old hag, like, okay, we get it. Like
She, damn, I don't know if I should be saying this stuff. I'll put it in the group chat. But
she
she
wears
like to party.
underwears with no, not
That too.
that.
She party too. I'll just say that. I synced it.
No, she's known for being a wild woman because on the set of Lost, she was one of those actors that was constantly getting in trouble. A lot of the actors on the set of Lost were getting in trouble because it was Hawaii. They were losing their minds, and it's like they had no choice but to drink and party because it's fucking Hawaii.
Yeah, but they weren't stuck on the island, were they?
Yeah,
That show.
they were.
Yeah, I don't know the history of that show. So
I it was during that period where, because I think Matthew Fox had like a DUI. I think a few other people, but hers was the worst because I think it's why they kicked her off the show um, after like her second season on it. I wasn't really too much. Yeah, it seemed so. Yeah.
Okay, so we understand everybody here, we're adults. You understand what partying is, right?
It's just again, it's a movie set. You're drinking, you're having a good time. But again, in Hawaii, it's bound to go crazy.
So you understand I think you understand what I mean by partying. Let me be clear about partying.
Just say it.
It's something called booger sugar. That's what I mean.
Well, yeah, that's why I said the Zac Efron thing, because they were hanging out. This was at the time where he was allegedly doing cocaine, apparently, which to bring full circle led to him having a new jaw.
I was about to snitch on somebody I know.
Who did cocaine or who knew Zac Efron?
Yeah, no, he parties, and then I look at him like, "Dog, you live like this?"
Yeah. But again, welcome back, y'all. Banks versus Davis. Last episode, we were talking about the state of the MCU because it was an emergency pod, even though it was a regular episode as well. Shout out to X Van of the Black Ariant. Appreciate them dropping by. Some things I want to touch on this episode, namely some movies. I saw Trap, M. Night Shyamalan's Trap. I enjoyed it. I thought it was really good, which I'm shocked to say given it's an M. Night Shyamalan film. And I got to ask you this because we haven't been texting about this. Kiki wanted to hear my thoughts on it. But in all honesty, I just really don't care about the Olympics. Do you care about the Olympics? Not even actual Olympics, not USA basketball. Do you care about the Olympics?
In totality, not really. Especially when I found out that the American winners, like the gold medalists, only make like $30,000. Only $30,000. Hell, $30,000 to change my life. $5,000 to change.
Yeah, no, $30,000. I'm like, thank you. Sorry,
you'll start to say thank you, Jesus, and you don't even believe that. But
fair enough.
30,000, I'll be crying. I can't get no Hellcat, but we halfway there. No, it's cool. I like as far as the sporting aspect of it, the competition. I love the martial arts, the karate, to be exact, the amateur wrestling. Fencing is
See, that what you're saying is my point is that we don't need to have mainstream sports in the Olympics. To me, that's something I've thought about the last 10 years or so. I'm like, we don't need basketball. We really don't need tennis or golf. They added skateboarding and BMX. I'm like, the X Games used to matter, and the only reason they stopped mattering is because ESPN stopped putting stock into it. They still air them, but it's just they didn't put the full force of ESPN behind it. And whether they can debate about having stars like they did in the past, but the reason they had stars like that in the past is because ESPN made the X Games something worth watching. Van had a tweet about this a couple weeks ago where he was like, he said something along the lines he remembers watching the X Games as a kid. I'm like, yeah, it was the same thing. I remember Shaun White doing vert and skateboarding, and then in the winter he'd go do vert and snowboarding. But the Olympics should be sports that aren't mainstream at all. Like you're saying, it should be judo, it should be fencing. Because every time I watch fencing, I'm like, it's not that entertaining in terms of like how it should be for sword fighting, even though it's not. I don't want to say like throw them some real swords and let's have a good time. But
that should be funner.
Just the dullest blade, just make them like a butter knife, no matter what,
That'd be more dangerous. What if you hit somebody in the eye or the neck with a sword?
They still know what I'm saying. Just let them. I'm not saying like no holds barred sword fighting, but still, because every time fencing happens, I'm like, is it when you touch the certain spots or any contact? It's that point. But amateur wrestling again used to matter, not just because of Kurt Angle's story, but because mainstream wrestling wasn't what it used to be in the 1800s, obviously, because it didn't exist in the 1900s. So I always think like the Olympics should be pure, Roman time sports like they created, like track and field, all that. We should keep that. But let's get rid of, they want to add flag football. I'm like, why? They try to replace the actual Pro Bowl with flag football. It's what they've been doing. And it's cool to see, but I don't want to see Team USA run over all these other countries that can barely field the team. Sure, people are like, USA got stomped in the World Cup of football a few months ago. And I'm like, because no one played in that game. Like,
yeah, and then think about this. Like, let's put Team USA against China. Dog, them dudes gonna die, literally.
Mm-hmm.
You got a bunch of 5'5", like their defensive line gonna be 5'5", 120 pounds. All right, they're gonna die. Just give my team, the Cowboys, defensive line against them. Concussions and brain damage permanently.
And not just that, which is why it's flag football, not regular football, because in the summer, these guys have actual training camps. So again, is Joe Burrow gonna suit up to play flag football when his hand barely works right now? Because that's what he was saying. He's like,
he heal it.
No. Again, I'm saying because he was the one saying, "Oh, I'd want to play in the Olympics if they added flag football. Me, Jamar Chase, and Justin Jefferson, we can do that." They already have like, and they have like break. I don't want to answer. No offense to Sean, but just because it's like, all right, who gets the gold medal? Who gets the gold medal? That's like, like, come on, fictional characters to
We
bring it
love you,
back.
Sean, but don't quote Chris Jericho about nothing like that again.
Again, Chris Jericho. Oh God.
Hey, in the words of Midian, once again, what he said to the Ultimate Warrior, winning streak. This shit ain't real, brother.
No, I don't want you to, because you did that the other day to piss me off. Because Midian, I don't know why I saw this clip in terms of why I sat down to actually watch it, but he had to talk to his buddy Mark Calloway, and he told him, you know, I asked out Stephanie McMahon on a date, right? And he was like, huh? He's like, yeah, I asked her out on a date. And I'm like, are you the stupidest fucker who ever lived? Do you also like this is a woman who's barely 20 at this point, and you're.
You might want to watch that interview, dog. He was
No,
wow.
I can't, because it already want to throw the phone against the wall. Like, nope. Why did I do that to myself?
That's PG-13 compared to everything else he was saying.
Well, I know the story of the slop with Sonny because I heard that on the Laps fan when they told that story.
He didn't really talk about that a lot,
but
he was talking about Molly Holly. He was lusting after her, but I was like, I get it. He just like,
well,
like, oh, I heard she's single for sure.
But yeah, the Olympics to me, it just hasn't hit. I mean, the only thing I've cared about is handball, but that's because I think handball should be a bigger sport in general, just like lacrosse.
You Puerto Rican? You dress like one.
Who?
You. That's their sport, handball.
Not the New York handball where you slap the ball against the wall. Not that handball.
All right, I don't know what no other handball. You talking about prison?
No, you should watch it. It's literally like a PE sport. You get 6 guys against 6 guys, and you throw a ball, like a miniature soccer ball, around and try to throw it into a hoop.
Okay.
I mean, not into a hoop, into a goal. Like watch it. You'll be like, oh, this shit looks like the easiest game ever played. You can put a team of 5 guys together and make a run at this when you think about it. I'm not saying it's that easy, but that's everyone's mindset. Out of all the sports, it's like, yeah, we could all play this instead of we could all play football.
Most of my friends is out of shape. It'd be you, me. If I had Eve on the team to beat that, we gonna lose by 20.
Well, I'm not being on a team with someone who has to wear glasses. That's already strike one. If you got bad eyesight off the rip, you can't be on my team.
That and he got the cardio of a fucking pit bull.
If you have to do you can't be on my.
I don't know how to hit the ball.
Because what happens when the ball hits your face?
He's just gonna be breathing extra heavy. It's gonna be like Helga G. Pataki when she hit dude with the glasses. He gonna be.
Oh god, cartoons. Some of the hidden messages back then, because that's a real creeper activity.
Yeah, it's just like the dudes that acts like the women wrestlers for like autographs, but then they have a hand everywhere it don't need to be.
Yeah, that's a whole nother conversation.
I understand, because you know, I mean, respectfully, if I met Nia Jax, my hand to be, I'm gonna get my ass beat, but my hand gonna be.
I think she would do you want to lose that hand, and then like.
Yeah, I might squeal or moan. I don't know if she try to break my hand.
But track and field, again, it's the only time we care about track and field. I watched the sprint show that Netflix did. I said that a few weeks ago. And everyone was talking about Noah Lyles today because it was his turn, because it was Sha'Carri's turn yesterday, and she took home silver. And she really only took home silver because she had a bad start. Not say like to cry a river for her, but you can just tell when she got off the blocks, it was like, oh, she's not going to be able to catch up, because that girl from St. Lucia was like gone off the rip out, and she had the longer strides and all that. But Noah Lyles today, he took gold and 100, like he'd been talking about. And he's become the internet's #1 hero enemy that you are choosing to be a hero in a way. But again, he only matters because of the Olympics. He had the whole spiel last year about world champions and the NBA. They call themselves world champions. I'm like, first of all, Patrice O'Neal created that bit like 20 years ago. Okay. When he was like, Americans are shitty. Our baseball team wins the World Series and we call ourselves champions of the world. That's how we are as Americans, we are that shitty. So Noah Lyles trying to, steal Patrice O'Neal's flow. I'm not allowed.
Everybody mad at him. I don't get it.
He's really just, and I explained this to Kiki, I'm like, he's really just that nerdy, corny guy who wants to be the superstar.
Hoopers are like weird.
Basketball
Lyles? Players are weird. I keep saying that over and over. Like, just look.
But he's a runner. He's the track star who said the NBA shouldn't call themselves world champions, that like the track stars are able to, because they actually compete against people from around the world. But the NBA,
he's hooping as well. He's played ball a little bit too.
No, because in the show, it makes he seemed like he couldn't do anything because he had the story of I had asthma as a kid. That it was hard for me to even pick up running. I'm like, don't make me feel sorry that you had asthma, okay? Because you're an asshole now.
That's why he said it. That's why he's really bitter, because he played ball, but he couldn't get no air in his lungs to play it. So then he tried to do track running. Then he said that didn't work out for him. But then now he's in the Olympics doing it. But then it's just like, I don't get the slander for basketball, where track running is probably more difficult, and you with asthma, you need more air capacity.
Try running fast when you got to dribble the ball too and worry about a motherfucker snatch. Like, I'm not saying track's easy, but it's the simplest. Again, like him versus Tyreek Hill in a race straight up, when Tyreek Hill has to worry about a dude coming out of nowhere and tackling him. Come on. I'm not saying this to put down track, but put him on a football field. That speed ain't going to matter. How are you going to dodge defenders? You run in a straight line.
There's something to it. I don't know. I've never done track and field, so I can't say. But you might be right about that. I don't know. My thing is, I get why he would be more so bitter towards basketball than anything else. It's the same thing, kind of like people say with Skip Bayless, who eventually I got to talk about. I probably have to do that on a solo episode, because him just saying I'm out of here and nobody gives a fuck is kind of wild.
No, it's not.
Got like a 30+ year career.
It's because the last 10 years people have been like, your act's tiresome. Stephen A was carrying you, and then Shannon Sharp was carrying you. And then they try to put together the Suicide Squad for you, and you were like, I should go home.
Wait, who was Suicide Squad?
Who was the new cast? It was LaShawn McCoy, right?
LaShawn.
Brain surgeon LaShawn McCoy, because every time he talks, I'm like, oh, what a fucking profound point by LaShawn McCoy. I mean, wow. Like,
it was LaShawn. It was Keyshawn Johnson.
Keyshawn Johnson's okay, but Keyshawn Johnson again he was on that panel of ESPN when it was him, Mike Ditka, my dad's favorite Tom Jackson, Chris Berman, Randy Moss, and then it was the shitty Hasselbeck, Tim Hasselbeck. So
he got Richard Sherman fired.
Well, Richard Sherman shouldn't be an analyst because, again, it's like that Draymond Green thing that I talked about, where
now you being disrespectful.
No, where you hate so much, and you're only going to praise the guys that you played with, because Richard Sherman has all the praise for Kyle Shanahan, but won't say anything good about Pete Carroll. But I'm like, who did you win the fucking?
Has anything good to say about Pete?
No, but who did you were a Niner for 2 seasons basically, and you didn't win shit with us. If anything, you were the detriment to our Super Bowl fucking team, because they're like, I got a great idea. Let's throw at the guy who's 36 and who never had speed to begin with.
Who got MCL? Was it MCL or ACL tears?
At that point, I'm still mad because, but again, the genius that John Lynch is like, the guy went to Stanford. I went to Stanford. We should sign him. Fucking asshole.
But you think Richard Sherman could do track and field in the Olympics?
Hell no. And he would admit that. Again, he didn't have speed to play wide receiver. That's why they put him at cornerback.
Good point. What else? No, it's just the USA team, as far as basketball, or both of them, they just beating everybody ass. So it hasn't been on. The only thing I've gotten from it is, damn, LeBron's still good.
But that's it. But did we need basketball in the Olympics to be like, oh yeah, we're so great at basketball? Like,
kind of. It was getting shaky in 2021. Or Yeah, 2021 because the pandemic cut off.
No, but I'm saying to bring it in a basketball as a whole conversation. Do we need the Olympics to showcase that Americans are still the best players? Because even though the MVP is from Serbia, a team of Serbians still can't beat a team of Americans. Go USA! Captain America bullshit. Like,
kind of, because I get what you mean, and you more right than what I'm about to say. But these international teams, as far as like certain players, are so good that maybe they can win. Doubt it, but maybe they can. Like that Uganda team, they got some talent on there. Some of them guys need to get picked up.
you mean the South
Especially how
Sudan
bad
team?
this draft. I'm sorry, yeah, South Sudan.
Yeah.
Considering how bad this draft was.
Well, they have the guy JT Thor who plays for Charlotte, and they got, I think that the G League MVP, the past G League season's MVP is on it, and then two other guys like are NBA, like journeyman or like in the G League at least. So yeah.
Yeah, but they got to actually. Maybe it's just because it's a team format with other good players from the country. It's getting to show like maybe they can make a roster spot. Because listen, not to pick on him, I think he still played for the Pelicans. I was about to say Jose. I think his name is Jose Alvarado.
Jose Alvarado for Puerto Rico.
Yeah, he averaging 2. Jamal Murray, I'll give some leniency to, just because he coming off like injury, then the playoffs. So I'll
no, because in the playoffs he hit that shot from half court and was doing the him as Kevin Harlan was right in front of his face, like Jamal Murray from half court with his sleeves rolled.
But I'm some leniency because, you know what I mean. Yeah, that. But then it's the Olympics, so maybe he don't care.
Shai Alexander, you're gonna give him leniency too? Come on.
Well, yeah, he should be tired, but no, he balling. I think he's doing a good job.
And my point is, like, what I'm trying to say is, we don't need basketball in the Olympics to show USA still has the best team. Because if that's the case, then basketball needs to copy what golf does, which is the Ryder Cup. In golf, they have Team USA versus Team Europe. And more often than not, Team Europe wins. But Team USA doesn't get their ass kicked every single time. And home field really does kind of matter. Like when the Ryder Cup's in Europe, Europe always kind of wins. When the Ryder Cup's in USA, it's kind of more of a back and forth fight. So if basketball really wanted to see how good it was, they would do what it should be. Team International versus Team USA. They don't need to do it. And you can do a 3-game series of that. And I think it would be more entertaining than USA just routes everyone in the Olympics.
They do it with the rookie teams.
But I'm saying we don't need to do that for the rookie teams, because like how many of these rookies are actually going to turn out to be star players? If the whole point is to have a super team of Avengers for basketball, do it. But I think they'd be scared of the team of Luka, Giannis, and Jokic, right?
But that's more so why I think I'll say the 2000s. When Ginobili beat the hell out of the USA team, it became then like, all right, we're probably just doing this now to see international talent, like scouting. Because that was a whole thing with Tony Kukoc. When we was looking at him, he was already drafted by that time, but it was a way to showcase his talent. And I mean, obviously, Jordan and Pippen said, fuck all that. But still, it gave everybody a chance to see him. And then when he came to the team, the rest is history. I think now with these Olympic teams, it's more so to see more international talent. The same thing happened with Luka when he was younger. I believe he played against Team USA when he was like 16, 18, somewhere around that. In 2000.
Well, Ricky Rubio is the biggest case of this, because Ricky Rubio was literally like 14, 15 in that 2008 Olympics and then got drafted the next year.
Playing like Pistol Pete.
Yeah, and everyone's like, this kid's going to be the future. And he stayed in Europe those 2 extra years, and we came. He's still going to have a shot. I don't want to go on a whole Ricky Rubio thing, because I liked him, and I still do. He's back playing in the EuroLeague, but
yeah, because bro, he was back up on the cap. I mean, obviously they had Colin Sexton, but still.
Yeah. Well, but he also knew like that's the role he should be playing anyway. Because look at what Mike Conley was doing for the Wolves this year. he can do that for a team. He can be the point guard that finds guys and just plays his minutes. But he wanted to go back to Europe, Spain in particular, due to his mom passing away. Now he's playing for Barcelona again. But I'm finishing my point about the basketball part. At least is I just get tired of, which is why I'm rooting against Team USA, like I said last week with Cody Drake, because what's going to be added to this is that we win another gold, because again, we have all 12 guys that play in the NBA versus every other team that has 2 to 3 at the most. Okay, we've made our point. And maybe we should go back to how it was before, where it was only the amateurs, because it's stupid that only amateur boxers can compete in the Olympics. Granted, I know why professional boxers wouldn't want to, because what's the point? You're not going to make a payday, and the point system and all that is stupid. But you're not allowed to compete in Olympic boxing unless you're an amateur. So why do we allow professional basketball players to play in the Olympics? So the Olympics as a whole, has faults in it.
Gotta blame David Stern, brother, as it relates to the men's basketball team. He started that after they got their ass beat in, was it 84?
It was the 98.
No, before that. The one with David.
88. 88 is what it was. Sorry, yeah, 88.
Yeah.
Because 92 is why they got mad. Because Jordan had gold in 84. And then in 88, I can't remember if they took silver or even bronze, but when 92 came up, it's because 88 failed, just like the 08 team had to make up for the bronze bust of 04.
Yeah, so you got to blame the great David Stern for that one. That was him just saying, yeah, we're not going to lose. And it was good for the sponsors as well, because you got all these Hall of Famers on one team, being the dream team. That'll do it.
And I'm not trying to say who cares if we lose, because the stigma, it's already that in MVP awards. How many USA MVPs from America have we had over the last 10 years? Like I said on an episode a few weeks ago, not that many. So why are we so worried about getting it back in the Olympics because our teams can be the individual? It's that kind of 1980s WWE, WWF, boo the foreigner heat. I think that's what everyone wants to go back to doing. They want to cheer for the foreign guys on their team, but when it's the national team time, it's boo the Iron Sheik, boo Nikolai Volkov. But come regular season, hey, I need Kristaps Porzingis on the Celtics. We ain't shit without him. I need Al Horford on the Celtics. We ain't shit without him. Poppy, come on, Poppy. No, it's okay. But yeah, it's just annoying. That's why USA basketball doesn't mean shit to me anymore, because and you got Kevin Durant going on his tirade again. I don't know why I'm so anti Kevin Durant these days.
What do you do?
He had that thing of right when the Olympics started, he was mad that Nike didn't put him in the commercial, and he was like, Nike, what do I got to do? Did I do something wrong? And I'm like, bruh. Yeah, and now he's about to pass Lisa Leslie for the all-time points in Olympic scoring, and I'm like, are you gonna still do I lead the Olympics in scoring, they still disrespect me, I get no respect? He's on Rodney Dangerfield, I get no respect. Hey, that's Kevin Durant. They still won't respect me, even though I got another gold medal and I lead the points. They're just gonna talk about LeBron and Steph. It's like, yeah, we are. Okay.
Have you noticed maybe this man is just unhappy? I don't want to play psychologist, but it just seemed like
it is.
Unhappy. Maybe
despite that he might be dating Angel Reese. Those are the rumors. I don't believe them, because as we said on the episode literally titled 300 million in no motion, there's no chance in hell.
My genetics and life has failed me. Why I can't hoop?
Are you gonna pay to get the or maybe it's just the height? Are you gonna pay to get the height surgery?
Nah, me and Em talked about that. That seems a little bit dangerous.
Oh, it's the stupidest thing we've ever invented.
You sure?
Yeah, let me put metal rods in your legs so you can be taller. So instead of walking on the stilts, they're inside of me.
Hey, yo. It's just
How
a
does
mini
that make
BBL.
sense?
That's all it is.
I'm not saying the BBL is a great invention, but I can see the man's point when he invented it.
Yeah,
It's
no,
like asses. They need to be bigger. I'm like,
my grandmother. Is with the
she's got
Alex.
a great ass, and you've got your head all the way up it.
Yeah,
And when the story of Hank Azaria being like, I had no idea he was gonna go that insane on that take, so his reaction being just like, what the fuck? Like,
I would have did the same thing. I was like, he got a point, but Flash the future 20 years later or so, yeah.
he was ahead of his time. And I'm like, I don't even know if Ashley Judd had a great ass. I've never really stopped that movie to see.
That should be one of the competitions in the Olympics, the BBLs.
Okay. See, now that's the RAOP Olympics. All right, we got some IDs. We can put that together. If you want to they talk about like the beer Olympics or Blue Mountain State had the drug Olympics. The RAOP Olympics. Now we're talking.
Didn't the Simpsons do? Yeah, actually, that need to happen. We could do it at the new stadium, the new Jaguar Stadium. That's the only time they'll get a win. Didn't the Simpsons do something like they was throwing like alcoholics or something like that in the Olympics? Or
no, so I'm saying the beer Olympics are a thing that apparently exists in some places.
You just killing beers?
But you play games along. It's not just beer pong, but it's it's doing activities while drinking.
Hey, Dot, let's go. We're gonna be the new beer money. You could do that.
You might have to look it up in more detail. I'm not exactly sure, but I'm pretty sure that's what it would be. Is you do activities while drinking beer.
Yeah.
Then Stone Cold would be the king of that, right? Like,
you know what's crazy? I don't even think he drink no more.
No, I'm saying, but like back then, that would have been like him and the Sandman. They would have been, they would have been unstoppable.
The Sandman would have preferred, partying. I'll just say that. I don't know if it was this party or this party, but
every party. Have you heard the man speak? It's every party.
Yeah, I Balls Mahoney definitely was got.
Oh god, yeah. Now we're getting into this. It's some dark territory. That was my Olympics right? Really, just like I don't care about the Olympics in full scope because there are too many games, and then some of them are ridiculous. Like, we don't need shooting. Everyone's making the jokes, but I'm like, the shooting shit, it's stupid. I'm sorry, it's dumb.
Because look at the countries that should be way ahead, being USA. Like, that's the joke, and that's a good pun. Because all the stuff that happened, yet America, they might be number one. I haven't checked, but they should be number one by a long shot. Double entendre.
Fuck you. But that's why
in your state, the state.
No, the woman who won the winter version was from here. Yeah. In 2018, I think she won the shooting competition. Yeah.
You talking about
that
cousin?
But see, shooting in the Winter Olympics makes much more sense because they had that competition where you do the skiing, you stop, you shoot the target, and you ski to the next one. That's at least like, ooh, that's a cool concept. Versus this one, when it's just pure pull. I hate skeet shooting. It's dumb. And then
Dick Cheney would be winning in that sport.
Well, the fact again, he still got away that it remains insane.
He's still with us?
Dick Cheney, I think so, yeah.
He on his 20th part. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, I think Dick Cheney could live forever at this point when you think about it. If they could just replace hearts for him like that.
You about to have me put the tinfoil hat on, brother. That's all he
No,
does.
I mean, that's the whole point of the Christian Bale movie was like, I got a new heart. I can keep living. Like,
it's because you're fat. That's why.
I'm on a diet.
Why did I watch that movie? Go ahead.
I watched that movie too many times, hoping it would be good. I'm like, it's a extremely well made movie. I think that's why I kept watching it.
Tandy Noodle with Condoleezza Rice.
No, that's the George Bush movie.
Oh yeah, the one that Michael Mann did, right?
No, Oliver Stone.
Yeah,
yeah.
Stone did that.
Because he had
what he said, Poppy.
I've never seen W.
Oh, you gotta see it, bro. That shit is hilarious. Josh Brolin got paid in cheese doodles to do it, but still.
That was still on his come up. I mean, not his comeback.
Yeah, and his
Yeah.
comeback was, damn, I'm still late on rent.
Yeah, but that's why I haven't seen it, because you can't make a movie when SNL literally did not just SNL, but George Bush himself. If you put all the viral George Bush clips together, it'd be probably one of the biggest comedies of all
Oh,
time.
I got you on that. I'll send you the link right now.
No, I'm just saying, like, if they released it in theaters, it actually would have made probably more money than W with the whole and this act of terrorism. Now watch me hit this drive. Perfect fucking form, like a son of a bitch.
Will Bill Burr say he can't say terrorism? He'd be like, terror.
Terrors.
Did you ever see that Will Ferrell stand up as George Bush?
Oh, where he did it on stage one time, we got strategery, just everything. And but Dana Carvey was as good as his dad. See, here we got something going on. Like,
he plays senior. Yeah.
This is my boy Georgie here. Dad, what's going on with Saddam Hussein? Like, it's like, oh, I've had some trouble with that guy. Let me tell you, he drive me crazy all them nights.
He just got up out of here too. Seen
it
recently.
I don't want to say anything bad, because you want to talk about the Hall of Fame. But when you show people in bad states of health, like they were doing to Mongo McMichael, that's probably the most fucked up thing. No. Because they were doing that to George H.W. Like that Super Bowl in Houston, remember? They're like, get your ass out there, George. And he's just like, I don't want to see it. They're old. They're sick. Just leave them in the house. Why do you got to waste their time? Why do you got to mess with them? I get the sentiment of the Mongo McMichael thing. He deserved it probably some time ago. And I think they only gave it to him now out of this. I hate being that guy, because more often than not that's the case with some things.
Yeah.
But we don't need to be reminded when we hear someone has ALS, it's like we can piece together like what that might look like.
I didn't know he was that sick. I know he was sick, but I was like,
Nick Folie
from WCW.
Nick Folie would tweet about it a lot. That's the only time I saw it, because other people would retweet Mick Foley's tweets about it.
Yeah, because Mick Foley don't know how to relax on social media. That's why.
Well,
I got my tooth knocked out. Yes, I don't want to.
You're telling him again. Speaking of CTE, I got this guy. I can't remember if it's 1993 or 2003.
He got a weird case of CTE though. It's like he in the future, but he not. It's like he got the T1300 or whatever from Terminator CTE.
And then he wanted to be Santa Claus year round. Like, this is a guy we shouldn't, pay attention to what he's saying.
Hey, his brain ain't that messed up. He up there.
It is. No. Don't try to shoot him bail. Like, it's fucked. It's fucked.
That part of his brain work about tricking, because he out here tricking. I'll just say that.
Again, he said the N-word. You can't tell me that his brain stopped working. Come on.
What do you say? You that nigga that fell off the set. People, Davis is not joking. Nick Foley
I still keep that's a real clip, and he said it in a way with like, no, I'm not saying it. Someone was saying it about me. I'm like, that doesn't count, Mick. Like,
we're not joking. I got the video if y'all need it. He said it's so smooth too. You like, did he just say that? Did he just do this?
Yeah, it's not like an anger. It's just like a.
But it was so smooth that you be like, damn, Nick Foley just dropped the N-bomb. You that nigga that fell off the set. I wish that could be the title. I'll put. You know what? I'll title it. You that nigga.
No, you can't. But
saying you that nigga that fell off the sail is hilarious though.
Oh my God. I mean, that. But I'm like, that's how people would probably greet him if they saw him. Like, where do I know you from? Do you ever watch wrestling? Oh shit! Like, oh shit.
No, but out of saying Mankind, dude, love Cactus Jack, the dude that went against the Rock.
He wore a mask, unless people heard him go, and then. He doesn't
But
talk like
still,
that year round.
but that's why I love my people, because the way we introduce people, or we meet celebrities the funniest fucking way ever. It's the same thing with Jamie Foxx when he tried to meet Denzel, and Denzel put him in the chokehold when he first moved to LA. You ever heard that story?
I think so.
It was on
But
that
you're
infamous "I'm gonna leave here with something" interview.
right because I'm not trying to spoil Trap, but there's a moment in Trap about the guy who's the big shining spot of the trailer is the black guy who works at the concert. Um, and there's a moment in the movie where, like, that is so authentic to how a black person would react to what's happening. And the guy played it so well. Like you're
Elaborate.
saying, no, because it spoils the movie. So again, go out, see it. It's probably his most conventional movie, and I think that's why I enjoyed it so much. In the past, we've talked about how his twists have turned both of us off in terms of, like, even checking out his films. Like when the trailer to Old came out, I'm like, well, what's the twist going to be about how they're old? And then I looked it up. It was, spoiler. It was the island's a laboratory. I'm like, oh fuck, wow. I don't know the twist to Knock at the Cabin. So
It's stupid.
I imagine. So when the twist is, like I said, just much conventional, and I love the premise that and the only reason I went to see this is because I got $5 back from seeing Deadpool Wolverine. I'm like, well, I'll go see a movie if you're giving me 5 free movie dollars. So,
Hey, Josh Hart.
but that trailer, hooked me when it came out those months ago. I didn't talk about it because I think we're on hiatus, but I'm like, this is probably the best movie trailer for something I wasn't caring about or even looking up. I remember when I was looking up like upcoming movie slates for the movie show at the top of the year, and Trap was on. I'm like, okay, skip, because it said M. Night Shyamalan. So when that trailer dropped, I'm like, holy shit, this might be the most brilliant movie concept of the year. But I was in my own trap during the trailers when I had to see the Joker 2 trailer, and because I hadn't seen it, and I was like, get me out of here.
Oh,
So my tangent is about that because. So you enjoyed Deadpool and Wolverine. You finally got to see it after last week's episode.
yeah, it's my second favorite movie this year so far.
And I think if you say that, people are like, oh, it's not even a movie, or, oh, it's my favorite movie of the year too. That debate of what's a movie, what's not, what's good art, what's pop culture consumerism, all that bullshit. And my point is this, like, yes, and X we talked about this with X a little bit before Vanna came on. I'm like, yes, as a movie on the cinema level, Deadpool breaks a lot of rules, not just the fourth wall stuff, but like leaning into making jokes about a whole nother entity being Fox, the MCU in a whole. But people should be much angrier at Joker 2 for trying to be so serious about comic book material when at the end of the day, Todd Phillips himself is like, fuck the comic book. I don't even care about it. That's more nihilistic than we need a bunch of memes and Twitter jokes. The movie, which Deadpool Wolverine basically is, it's the internet, comic book Twitter, movie Twitter. As a movie, that's what Deadpool Wolverine is. But the Joker 2 trailer is like, you know, the movie that made a shit ton of money and got a guy an Oscar because he was never going to get one before, and we only gave it to him now because we felt bad we never gave him one. Let's make another one of those and commentate on the idea of the first movie is what it looks like him having to defend himself on trial. And then they're like, that's not all. Let's add Lady Gaga. Why? Because she's a good actress? Yes. Does it make sense? No. So we'll make it a musical. Then the casting will make sense. Get it? That's more nihilistic than Twitter jokes the movie.
How do I say this? Everybody needs a hero. When that movie came out, the fix.
No, you can't be playing to the incels. I'm going to stop you right here. You
No,
can't be the.
them. I want them to consensually get some ass and wash their ass. All right. I'm saying in the sense of they need a hero, but not this guy. Uh, we need acting from comic book movies, or we don't need. Some people want acting for comic book movies, not necessarily.
But again, this isn't a comic book movie.
It's
Arthur
a
Fleck.
comic book
No,
entity.
they just took the name. They just took the name Joker and said we can use that and that alone.
Yeah, but the thing is, you're right. But by force, it's kind of like it's a comic book movie because of the character is the most famous villain in probably history, in world history. Uh, with the most popular, and he's integrated with the most popular probably character or comic book character in history besides Spider-Man. So you're right, but at the same time, without the Joker, you can't call it what's his name again? Fucking Arthur.
Oh,
You can't
Arthur,
call
yeah.
you can't call it Arthur with clown face paint because immediately people will say it's the Joker. You can't have Lady Gaga be Harley Quinn, or you can call her Harleen Quinn, but that's still Harley Quinn. So in this case, you're absolutely right once again. But with this movie, it's like all right, the first time he won an Oscar, like you said, he wasn't gonna get anything because I think he got Best Supporting for Gladiator though, right? Or he got nominated.
He was nominated for Gladiator and at Best Supporting, and he was nominated, I think, Best Supporting again for The Master. And those, I think he might have been nominated for her as well, but he's only ever been nominated, I think.
I seen that shit with Philip Seymour Hoffman. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Uh,
But again, he was a guy who learned they were like, in the movie community was one of our best actors and was going to get nominated and never win. And because that movie made a shit ton of money and he lost a shit ton of weight and he went full fucking crazy, they gave it to him. And I think it was a weak year too, because in 2019, I really can't. Oh no, that's saying if DiCaprio hadn't won for The Revenant, he should have won for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood because that was a real performance.
but again, it's like me and you talked about before. It's the here down
Yeah,
thing when it comes to Oscar. Like I think, and I'm dying on this hill. Will Smith did a phenomenal job, but it was the here down award because eventually we was gonna have to give him something, especially when the fix was in that night. I don't need to go back. Y'all saw 2 years.
no, but it was also it was here, damn, and he tried. He was in between Men in Black, I Am Legend, Gemini Man, Hancock. All his just Suicide Squad. In between those, he would fit a regular drama in. He would do 7 Pounds. He would do Concussion. He would still try to be Will Smith, the actor, instead of Will Smith, the biggest movie star on the planet. And which is why Tom Cruise doesn't get any love, because Tom Cruise himself doesn't make any movies that aren't Mission Impossible anymore. Even though he has all these new movies lined up, he stopped playing the game when they didn't recognize him 3 times over. Will Smith was still trying to play the game, and he played the game correctly at that point where he played a real person, even though he'd done it with Folie. It was now after 20 years of blockbusters and still trying to dramatic roles where they're like, here, damn, and you actually deserved it.
Yeah, you're right. So in the case of Joaquin, he probably can get nominated again.
But he'll get nominated again, yeah.
Because the thing is, like you just said, the musical play of it. That's what Hollywood does around the
Mm-hmm.
Oscar season. The play is either you got to do a slave movie, you got to do a musical, or you got to do some type of like retro 1960 style type
Yeah.
situation. Or you got to do something in the wilderness. Like if you want to get nominated, or you got to do a historical piece.
No, you're
That's
right.
5 factors of getting nominated for an Oscar.
Which is why when everything Everywhere All at Once won, it was like, wow. Or when Parasite won. Foreign films normally don't win Best Picture like that.
But their stories were so great that you had no choice.
Yeah.
So
And
that's
that's
just great screenwriting.
and that's why I'm so much more cynical about this instead of Deadpool. Even though I admit, like, Deadpool Wolverine is a problem. even though I enjoyed it, it is a problem with modern Hollywood where it's like, how do we make something that's entertaining and fun? Get everything you liked and make jokes that everyone would laugh at and understand. And then give us Channing Tatum as Gambit with a funny accent. It's like
You sound like Rock.
I'm about to make a name for myself here. It reminded. I didn't say this last week because I forgot, but it reminded me of the episode of South Park where Cartman goes to the University of Colorado as a slave owner. Sir, how you doing, sir? My name's Eric P. Cartman, sir. It's nice to meet you. These are some mighty fine-looking slaves, sir. And the dean's like, slaves? He's like, those are our student athletes. Oh, athletes. That's basically what Channing Tatum was doing with the, my name is Raymond Noble. They come in the gambit.
Y'all better get out of here because Dr. Umar's gonna go nuclear if he ever see this episode.
So they gave us something we never had, which was Channing Tatum's Gambit. They gave us something people wanted, which was Wesley Snipes' Blade again. And they made all the jokes you want. Like, look how stupid Fox was, right? Fox was so fucking stupid, as I said last week. But they had to give them their credit at the end with the, the supercut of behind-the-scenes footage. Because we still got to be classy. It's Hollywood, you shake a few hands, kiss a few babies. Hey, we didn't mean it. We didn't mean it, But it's wrong that this movie is making a shit ton of money still. Like, that's a problem. 800 million already? It's a problem.
I'm starting to, again, I don't want to put the tinfoil hat on and talk about Amazon and Disney being the only two companies. It's going to be like a versus in the next 5 years where it's just like all your entertainment or all your food is coming from Amazon. And
so the boys.
Disney. Yeah, exactly like that. But yeah, they bought them out. They bought Fox. That's what I'm saying, Sean. Like a New World Order type shit. But no, it's like Inside Out is the sixth highest grossing movie. Inside Out 2 is the sixth highest grossing movie of all time. Deadpool Wolverine it's definitely.
No, it's already, I think it's already the top grossing movie of the year. Yeah. And that was, before I forget this point, that was my other argument was, so look at all the movies this year, the big movies. So we had The Fall Guy, old TV show. The IP doesn't resonate, but it's got two big actors. I can't say movie stars because Ryan Gosling isn't a movie star and Emily Blunt isn't a movie star, but they're two big, well-known, well-liked actors. It doesn't make money. We got Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Again, famous IP.
Trash.
Its time kind of already passed with Matt Reeves' trilogy. Two thirds trilogy, but they were desperate to restart it and keep it going. Well, not restart it, to keep it going. They released it again. It barely made its money. Twisters. Everyone's like, "Oh, I'm shocked." Someone had a tweet today I saw where people they were like, "I'm shocked Twisters didn't break even." I'm like, "It's fucking tornadoes. That's all it is. It's a tornado. There's nothing else to it. You can put Glenn Powell in a cowboy hat, driving a truck away from a tornado. That's all it's gonna be. The 90s movie, it made money. The 90s movie, it made money back then. It was the fucking 90s. Should we look at all the crazy movies that made money in the night? Fucking Ghost made money in the 90s. That's a movie about Patrick Swayze being dead.
But you gotta realize that was for the 50 Cent video. All right, this for the bitches. Like, you gotta understand that was for them because Patrick Swayze was a draw, despite being a too-long fool. But that's neither here nor there.
It's before. It's what allowed him to do stuff like that. He's like, hey, I've made money. I was in Roadhouse, Dirty Dancing, and Ghost. I could do whatever the fuck I want.
He was looked at as a sex symbol. So
yeah. And then what was my other point? Because it was, and Furiosa. Again, old IP that got reinvigorated, which is crazy. Almost a decade ago, because it was 2015 when we had Fury Road. So he spent 9 years making two movies. One movie we all skipped, which was that Genie movie with Idris Elba. And then
that was him. I meant to see that.
Yeah, because it was where he's like, in between making this Mad Max prequel, what should I do? It was more so like a movie he made for his daughter. But
Like casting Idris Elba. Interesting.
no, the story, it was a story that he would tell his daughter. Like the premise of the movie was like a story he would tell to his daughter as she was growing up.
What's the story?
If I remember
'Cause
correctly.
I've been actually meaning.
No, like it's based off a book. It's the woman who comes across a genie and he tells her his tale as he's able to give her her wishes. And again, it's similar to Aladdin. Like, will he allow her, and will she allow him to then be free after? I think. I'm pretty sure that's how it goes. But it's more so about her hearing his tale.
Okay, I might type in.
And Furiosa again, fucking tanked. So as much as Hollywood wants to be cynical of, oh, Deadpool and Wolverine's the problem, Deadpool and Wolverine's the problem, I just listed 4 things that were IP related, 3 of which were more modern on the Deadpool Wolverine scale. Again, like we've had Planet of the Apes movies, Mad Max movies, not so much disaster movies, but movies based off TV shows come out in the last 10 to 15 years. So you can't get up in arms about, oh, the superhero movies are still going to win and we're stuck in hell, blah, 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 or the breaking the fourth wall and playing to the internet crowd, which Deadpool Wolverine was doing. Like you were saying, you know, for 2 years at this point about why you hate Deadpool marks, because I can understand why. I was worried I was going to sit next to some that were going to act out that way.
Well, I hate them.
You are always the one like the Deadpool marks piss me off, the Rick and Morty marks piss me off. The people who are so into it to that extent.
I didn't say they piss me off. I just said like I make jokes about them.
I know what you mean. Where like it's their personality. It's their personality to that extent where it's so over the top.
But
like,
you know what is. Let me say this: you're right, but at the same time, I calm down on a lot of stuff because I'm like, man, listen, I got my synergy up, brother. Like we're all on this ride together in life, and sometimes the roller coaster might go faster for others, but we all here to have fun. So let's just enjoy stuff. But at the same time, I give them leniency. I'm not giving Star Wars marks leniency. I don't like y'all.
Well,
Except for
it'll be.
And everybody with Black Variant Association, them cool, but
and that's why we were talking about it last week. When their time comes,
like you, the Star Wars marks. No, I don't like y'all because y'all take it too serious.
Well, I don't take it seriously anymore, and I really never did when the J.J. Abrams trilogy started, because I liked Force Awakens, but everything, and I liked Rogue One, and I liked parts of Solo, but the part I didn't like about Last Jedi, I'm like, one, it's just not a good movie, and it's not a good Star Wars movie. And then The Rise of Skywalker was the worst version of what I'm talking about now, which is, oh, you're so scared of the internet, you made a movie for the internet. But that's way worse than Deadpool and Wolverine. Deadpool and Wolverine being like
WWE booking.
Well, that's why, in a good way, I'm glad I'm not watching wrestling anymore, because we just talked about this offline where I said every show's predictable no matter what company it is. AEW, WWE. New Japan's the only one that's unpredictable. That's because Geto at this point is like, what the fuck do I do? Oh, shit.
Got 5 workers over here.
And one of them is David Finley, so it's like, I'm fucked. Like,
yeah, that'll do it. I've seen him work in person, by the way, too.
Oh, God.
He couldn't work with Jay White. I said, yeah, this is going to be tough.
Ooh. But when you play to the internet to that extent, of course you're not gonna make good art. And isn't, like I said, there are parts in Deadpool and Wolverine, mainly the 3 action scenes I listed last week, the car fight, the first time they fight, and then the attempt at the one where they fight the Deadpool core. I'm like, that's what filmmaking is. Like that's someone trying to make film, but everything in between, it's jokes and like at the end, I'm like, this isn't even really a movie about the woman he loves, because she's on. Like, if you broke down the story, it's like, I'm doing this for her. It's like, yeah, that worked the first 2 times. It doesn't work this time. Like the love story is the whole point of Deadpool 1, and then trying to get her back after she's dead is the whole point of Deadpool 2. And it's actually more dramatic when he sees her on the other side. And then they undo it in the post-credits scene, and I'm like, oh. I was actually kind of moved by that, and now you kind of fucked it. Like,
They really, you're right. I didn't even think about that. They lost the point in this
mm-hmm.
movie. It's like
The point was, I need to hang out with Hugh Jackman. How do we do that?
yeah, it was like, all right, I need you to help me fix the time. I don't want the time to get messed up. I'm not using the right phrasing, but y'all know what I mean.
Yeah.
I don't want the time elapse or whatever to get messed up. But then all the while, it's just him fucking with Wolverine and Wolverine cussing every 5 seconds.
So when I said that on the episode last week, where he was just doing fuckity fuck 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 fuck, and you laughed. So when you actually saw the movie, you were like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, you went extra right, dog. That's the only thing I really hate about the movie. I'm like, damn.
And but I also think that's one of the other reasons he was doing the movie, because I think all those jokes about being trapped for 90 years. I think Hugh Jackman's also like, I really don't want to keep doing this. I'll put on the costume.
But that was the good joke. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you just said, that was a great joke about it.
Scott always wanted me to wear it. I thought it was stupid and I put it on once they were gone.
But when he leaned it to his ear, he said 90 years.
Yeah. Which
that was great.
That's a bad joke, because I'm like, if we saw Robert Downey Jr. do this on the same weekend and Chris Evans do it on the same weekend, we're going to see Hugh Jackman come back. Yeah.
He played a 19-year-old character. Spoiler alert. He played a 19-year-old
No, at this point, everyone's seen it, and we already did the spoiler episode last week, so I don't have to press. Again, $800 million, and I think our fans of the show have seen this movie at least, so I don't want to.
A couple of times, yeah. Because I didn't know it was 800. I thought they made 500 by now. 800 million is crazy.
I want to double check that, because it was on its way to 800.
They might have exceeded that by the time we get done recording.
Yeah.
Because it's Sunday as of this recording, so they might fuck around and crack $1 billion. Again, if you look at the top 10 highest grossing movies ever, people, except for one property, everything is Disney. Titanic, Avatar, the 2 Avenger movies, Star Wars, The Rise of the Skywalker.
Yeah, it crossed 800 million. Yeah.
So by next weekend, it'll be at $1 billion.
Yeah, and then everyone's gonna get panic because the bad movies make money, which the bad movies always make money.
Yeah,
Come on,
the 90s.
No, since the beginning of time, like
black exploitation movies. And I say
again, I don't want to go on my Avatar rant, but again, no one talks about Avatar until an Avatar movie's out.
I think I've talked about it before, but I have no problem talking about it now. I hate the Avatar movies. I hate those fucking.
And I've only seen the first one.
Highest grossing movie ever, and it's a cheat code as to why. Dude, it's because they drove up the ticket sales during the time.
Not just that.
No inflation.
Not just that, but it's that thing of, and this is why the second one made so much money, and then people got on their fucking horse of like, see, we do care about Avatar. I'm like, no, the reason Avatar made all that money is because they played the game right. Just like Top Gun Maverick played the game right. There had been so much time passed. And when it was out, nothing else was out.
Right.
The only thing that was competing with Top Gun Maverick, I think had been...
Hornet. And that was actually way after Green.
No, I'm saying Top Gun Maverick.
No. I'm talking about Avatar. What came
Avatar? Oh, yeah. No, in 2009, again, Avatar lost Best Picture to The Hurt Locker, a movie that barely made like 30 million.
That was a revenge movie. Y'all
yeah,
research on that.
That's one of the best stories of all time. And James Cameron had to go home and be like wham 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 about it, which is why he's like, I'm gonna make 3 more, and then he still got no Oscar.
But yeah, dog, you stole a lot of properties and made billions of dollars off of it. Terminator. You stole the franchise from a lady, the original creator.
All right. No, I don't want to, because I also don't think James. Even though I watched, funny enough, Aliens earlier today, and I think Aliens is better than Alien. That's only because the last 30 minutes of Alien are annoying in terms of her going back to save the stupid cat. It's one of the best made movies on a production level, like the sets and Ridley Scott's cinematography and all that. But when she's just running to and from the same parts of the ship to stop it, to make it explode, to stop it from exploding. And then I got to get the cat. I'm like, just fight the alien, please. I'm fucking bored. Versus aliens, James Cameron's like, you know what you're going to get? Them fucking fighting aliens. That's what you're going to get. And everyone's like, what a fucking concept. Not one alien, aliens. Like,
and then everybody goes back to that line that Jamie Lee Curtis had. Was that Jamie Lee Curtis? I think so. Anyway,
about James Cameron?
No, Alien.
You mean Sigourney Weaver?
Same thing. I can't.
When she went the, you mean the get away from her, you bitch?
Yeah, that line. Everybody talks about that.
Yeah, and I was listening to a podcast the other. That's kind of what, besides the new one coming. I wanted to rewatch these two. No, a podcast I was listening to. They were talking about aliens, and the guy said, "My theater erupted when they heard her say, 'Get away from her, you bitch!'" And he's like, people in the crowd went, "Ah!" And they reported it in the paper the next day that the noise from one theater was heard in another. Of like, oh my god.
Right. I don't get why they'll get a pop, but at the same time,
no, I couldn't understand because it still got me, even though I knew it was coming. I'm like, damn, that's a good line. Because she's like, the alien's like, I'm gonna get you, little girl, and she was like, don't you fucking touch her. Like,
yeah, women, we could fight aliens.
No, it's just there are great lines in movies and great moments, and that's one of them. Like, I'm like, again, like On Your Left, and at the end of Endgame, like, it's a simple ass line, but if you know the callback, yeah, if you know the call, or like you hear the right line, or that's why I get emotional every time I watch Creed, because it's, even though it's not a line, but it's the part when he gets knocked down. I say this every time, and he sees the flashback, and it's the footage of Apollo, and I'm like, yeah. And then it starts playing. He gets up, he throws his hands, like, but yeah.
What's your name? Creed.
Yeah, exactly. Creed. But that's more of the second one when after he beats the ground and the Russian goes, "What's your name, Creed? What's your name?" Yeah. But we're gonna end this episode because you wanted to talk about the Hall of Fame, as I discussed earlier. But this year's Hall of Fame class, Devin Hester alone, it could have just been him, and it would have been correct. Because I can't think of a more deserving player, even though they only played one position. No offense to him as a regular wide receiver, but if that man was returning a punt or returning a kickoff, you might as well just let him go. Because either he was going to find a way or he was going to make a way.
Yeah.
And
he's the greatest at that.
Yeah. It was basically like 3 straight years of like no one could do it. Even though he, like, again, his career tailed off towards the end because he wasn't a good pass catcher as a receiver. But that's, especially with the way we treat kickoffs today, non-existent, that's what makes him even more impressive. Like, this guy did this. I do this for a living. Like, that was Devin Hester as a kick returner, punt returner. It was truly a thing I don't take for granted, because when he did it in the fucking Super Bowl, it was amazing. Like, even in the Super Bowl, this guy does it.
Yeah, no, legit. He deserves it. That's all I can really say. Like you just said, him alone deserves it. And then
my guy Patrick Willis, who was literally like,
in front of you,
I'm gonna get it right now. But Patrick Willis, because I could talk about Patrick Willis without having looked stuff up, but he was literally like the tackling fuel that Bobby Boucher had in the Water Boy. Like, he would just launch at guys and it would be game over. Even though, again, we didn't win the Super Bowl, but he was Pro Bowl every year, All Pro every year, and tackles leader every year. He was just probably the angriest man on a football field. And then, like, the current Niners, where they have Dre Greenlaw and Fred Warner, they're like, Patrick Willis, you're good on your own. What if we gave you Navarro Bowman? What if we teamed you up with him? Oh, you did it now. It's like, that's the real Bash Brothers. Like,
yeah, no, legit. I remember that team too.
Because they hit the guy, I think it's the Jets receiver who they hit, and then he's on his knees like Willem Dafoe in Platoon. Like,
I remember that because his whole entire, it's not funny, but his whole entire body looked like it cramped up.
It's like it's not funny, but it was on Mike Singletary, like Smash Mouth Football. They would play the commercials on TV where it's like, we hit him in the mouth. And to think 3 years later, they're like, you can't tackle at the head anymore.
And it was probably solely them.
It would, and I was gonna say, we probably Mike Singletary being like, when I play football, I want to do the
We tried to cripple the guy.
Yeah. Well, I think Mike Singletary grew up a sick, weak kid. He turned himself into a revenge machine. And they who they teamed him up with? Mongo McMichael, Refrigerator Perry,
bruh.
And then they had Mike Ditka as the coach. Mike Ditka beat with his mustache like he's a fucking cop from Chicago. That's not how you play football. I'll show you how to play football. A sweater vest.
Hey, what movie was that when he was like, "Oh, that's the soccer movie, right?"
Kicking and screaming. It's a hilarious performance. Yeah. Mike, there's no smoke. Nobody's smoking. Here, hold this. It's a great. I used to watch that movie a lot as a kid, but he's great because I didn't know he was like playing Mike Ditka, the guy. I still didn't have a concept of real. I was just about to learn real sports at that time, but when he's playing the actual Chicago Bears himself, Mike Ditka. And when Will Ferrell, again, to bring it back to Will Ferrell, when they yell at you like, go get me a juice box. What'd you say to me? I said, go get me a juice box boy. And Mike Dick is like, I don't get juice boxes for nobody. He's like, I just told you to.
And then he's trying to coach the kids just like he coached that 85 Bears team.
All right, so, oh shit, I just had it. Okay, here it is. Dwight Freeney, yeah, I mean, just off him having the spin move as a DN, because in what Madden 08, when they started putting the icons on the bottom, it was the tornado for Dwight Freeney, just because he could do on a guy and go straight to the quarterback. We had Randy Gratcher, I don't remember him, Devin Hester, Andre Johnson, yeah, because Andre Johnson, again, being the best receiver in his division with Matt Schaub as his quarterback, and David Carr and all those other bums, yeah. Julius Peppers, okay, yeah, Julius Peppers,
yeah, that's a good one.
Is deserving as well, and Patrick Willis and Stephen Michael. So I'd say it was a good class. And you were talking about next year. Next year will be tricky. There's the Eli Manning thing, as we said.
Hall of Famer. First ballot, I don't know. On this ballot, he might be Hall of Famer.
I don't think first ballot just because it's all luck. And I don't mean that in a negative way because he did have skill.
Not to cut you off.
Wow. You know what?
We need that story, Antonio.
How much money did he make? Let me see real quick. If I can try to find.
He don't know that football players are cheap by force. Either they cheap or they spend a lot of their money. It's no in between.
No. They spend their money unless they're Chad Johnson. I bet even like you said that. Oh no, I think it's Samson. That's too cheap. Now you're just being cheap for no reason.
For the love of the game. Like I'm sleeping.
No, it's not even love of the game. It's just like spend the damn money. You can't take it with you. Like
it's kind of true too. But he do got 10 kids, so understand.
Well, there's also a solution to that. It's called wear a fucking condom.
That's true, but he don't know nothing about that. He from Broad. No, I'm sorry, he from Liberty City, which in the day almost same thing.
It's like that part in Jerry Maguire is like, mad at your baby's mom? What do you think you were getting into? Feel like you're a bad teammate? Quit doing blow. Like,
right.
But I'm gonna try to find 2025's candidates is who they are. They're not necessarily going straight, but the predictions are Eli Manning, Luke Kuechly. Yeah, Luke Kuechly, even though Luke Kuechly is one of the prime examples of like football should be banned because this guy kind of has no brain left. And every time he had a concussion, he was on the sideline having a meltdown like he was Sid Vicious. Like he was Psycho Sid, like, I don't got no concussion.
Same thing. You see how Psycho Sid was, so yeah. Same thing. Yeah,
Terrell Suggs, yeah. Yes, he should.
So definitely.
Yeah. Torrey Holt. If they put Kurt Warner in, then you have to put Torrey Holt in. So yeah. Willie Anderson, he played offensive line, and that's kind of a that's just this one article's. Let me see who else.
Akeem Talib, no, he on the ballot for the first time. Um, Marshawn Lynch is the one I said I don't know about. Maybe not first ballot. I say second, third.
It'd be too hard to look up. Not too hard. We're really trying to wrap up in the next 5 minutes, but the thing about Marshawn Lynch is if half his seasons were 1,000 yards, then yes. Or half his seasons were double-digit touchdowns, yes. You have to have one of those things. You have to have over multiple 1,000 yards or multiple double-digit touchdowns. It has to be something like that. You necessarily don't have to have wins because Edgerrin James made it, and he didn't have a lot of team wins.
Right.
So Marshawn Lynch, but also Marshawn Lynch had probably the biggest play in Seahawks history until the Richard Sherman interception, and then is remembered for his team trusting him that much that they could have won another Super Bowl. So that's what a Hall of Famer is like. Someone who's, they talk about aura all the time on the internet. It's driving me nuts when like aura, so-and-so's got aura. Marshawn Lynch had it because his team's like, we literally have this guy at the 1 yard line. It's not like it's fucking, I don't know, who's the weakest running back I can think. It's not like it's Willie Parker at the 1 yard line or Thomas Jones.
To be a weak running back, you got to be terrible. Ain't no weak, you just terrible because there ain't too many bad running backs I can think of.
But Marshawn Lynch, he's a Hall of Fame, first ballot Hall of Famer in terms of like NFL personalities, in terms of having a personality and having the ability to play. But that's something I won't be mad if he gets in, but I also won't be mad if he doesn't make it because those Buffalo years weren't as good as his Seahawks years, but then those Oakland years were like, oh yeah, this guy's career's over.
Yeah. That was just him being at the crib. That's all that was.
Yeah. Well, that's why it was bad that he did it, because he's like, oh, I ain't gotta travel. I ain't gotta do nothing. Like, I can't do my bear.
Hey, y'all young side highs. I'm about to just go down the street. The story about Marcus Peters almost burning down this house is hilarious too, because they first cousins.
See, that's another reason I hate the Olympics, because they got Snoop Dogg at every event, and I mean, like, and it's right for Snoop Dogg to get them checks, but it's the thing where entities want to use Black people, particularly people like Marshawn Lynch and Snoop Dogg, as puppets. Like, hey, you can. It's true. They're like, the Olympics aren't fun enough. Let's get Snoop Dogg to show, because he makes everything fun, which he does because he's fucking Snoop Dogg. And everyone's right to be like, 30 years ago, this man was one of the biggest antagonists in American history because he had an animated dog on his album cover that pissed people off. And then, yeah, and then everything else he did not get convicted of murder, luckily, but still, he was on trial. And now these days we're just like, he's so fun. Send him to that event, send him to this event, just like NFL does with Marshawn Lynch. Now, I do hate a lot of things, but I hate how it's used where the NFL's like, this week's segment's week. What should we do? Add Marshawn Lynch? Why? I don't know, because I don't have any fucking ideas. And Marshawn Lynch will make gold out of it because he's a man from Oakland. Everything's funny to a guy from Oakland.
California people, we got to have a sense of humor how we grew up. Let me tell y'all something. Davis hates everything. Me and him are just alike.
With sense and reason.
Antonio's, it's a California thing. We just hate shit. Y'all just heard that fucking midget from Compton say the same thing. I hate the way that you walk, the way that you talk. We don't like shit. We are bougie. Y'all not understanding how we grew up. I don't like shit either. With us, we either love something or we really hate it. It's no in between. Antonio really loves Cody Rhodes. I hate Cody Rhodes. That's how it works. All right. Antonio only like Liv Morgan and Cody Rhodes, and he hate everything. And he hate the Lakers, and he a diehard Laker fan.
I don't know, because when the Lakers rip off a 10-game winning streak, best in the world, baby. Wake
never said
up. Watch it happen.
No, because they never go. They're not going on another 10-game winning
Of
streak.
course they won't go. Look at the fucking Lakers. It's what do you? I'm not saying like they would. I'm saying if it happened, he would. I'm not saying they're gonna do it.
Yeah, exactly.
You're the starting center for the Lakers at this point. For fuck's sake, like
just about me, you, and Big Mike.
But on that note, Banks has to.
For that team.
Banks has to get out of here. We weren't trying to go too long this week anyway. But hopefully you enjoyed my hating. Hate. Maybe it is California related. That's because everyone thinks we're so fun and loving and this shit rough. This shit raw here. We look
rough.
The sun's out. Yeah, there's some sand, there's some beach, there's some ocean. Can't do shit in it. Like, what am I gonna do? Surf? Huh?
Hey, what's got Simon said? I can't play the guitar. I just beat people up.
Yeah, come on. I'm gonna do skateboard and break my neck. They beat up skateboarders, the fucking security guards and that shit. Ask my dad about skateboarding in the 90s in California.
Now the skateboarders, they'll just kill you.
Oh, that's a dark way to end the show.
Bye, y'all.